Lerone Murphy has finally given fans the news they've been waiting on: the likely timing for his fight against Alexander Volkanovski. After that insane spinning elbow knockout of Aaron Pico, Murphy instantly shot to the front of the line for a title shot. The hype is real. He's still unbeaten, sharp on the feet, and coming off one of the most violent finishes of the year. During a recent chat with Michael Bisping and Paul Felder, Murphy revealed that the Volkanovski fight is being targeted for December in Las Vegas. End of the year, bright lights, Sin City. It doesn't get bigger than that. Murphy also said he's already been breaking down tape on Volk and has spotted weaknesses he believes he can exploit. He stressed that he's not just there for the paycheck, he's coming to take the belt. Volkanovski, as always, has welcomed the challenge, living up to his reputation as a champion who never dodges the toughest opponents. Murphy explained that he's a technician who studies every opponent in detail. He adapts to each fight, whether it's a pressure-heavy performance like his win over Edson Barboza or a defensive showing against Josh Emmett. And now he says he's already mapped out a plan to beat Volkanovski.
I'm a technician. I watch a lot of tape on guys, so I understand the flaws, and I'm already seeing holes in Volkanovski that I'm going to exploit.
Oh. Well, I'm not going to bother asking because you're not going to say them out loud, but it shows where your head's at, LeBron, and rightly so. So you're already doing the tape study. And I would assume, I mean, obviously we haven't got any inside info. We're not matchmakers or anything, but I would assume that you get the title fight.
Obviously, like you said, we always would love to get a finish, but you just got some of the fights you've got to fight smart in it. And I feel like I fight every fight differently. I got a performance of the night, bonus against Edson Barboza because I pressured, and I fight everybody differently. Like I said, I watch a lot of tape on guys and I figure out how to beat them. So what defensive performance against Josh Emmett, like one defensive performance, you can't really knock me for that.
Islam Makhachev's longtime teammate and podcast host Josh Thompson may have shared a bit too much. On a recent episode, he revealed private messages from Khabib Nurmagomedov about Islam's upcoming move to welterweight to face Jack Della Maddalena. Most fans see this as a fight Islam should win, but according to Khabib, it's far from a guaranteed victory. And it makes sense, despite dominating lightweight and openly talking about moving up, Khabib never actually tested himself at 170, especially back when Kamaru Usman ruled the division. Now the landscape is different. Instead of a dominant wrestler holding the belt, the top dog at welterweight is a dangerous striker. That makes Islam's move up far more intriguing. Khabib reportedly told Josh that JDM will be Islam's toughest fight to date. He praised Maddalena's explosiveness, striking, and ability to get back to his feet quickly, despite average takedown defense. He also pointed out JDM's size as a real factor. Still, Khabib emphasized that when Islam isn't drained from cutting weight, he can dominate even much bigger opponents. He's handled 205-pound training partners before, so while the fight is risky, the belief is Islam can rise to the challenge.
Oh, at 34 years old though, like he understands that the time is coming, you know, and I think that he's somebody that also doesn't want to take a bad loss and be like, all right, look, I'm done. Yeah. Like he wants to just be able to kind of go out on his terms. I think if he loses, and plus he's only got one loss, you know, but bottom line is he has the one loss. And I think if he can get past JDM, I was texting with Khabib yesterday and he goes, this is going to be his toughest fight he's ever had for sure. And I said, yeah. He goes, JDM is explosive. He's good. Like he's good on the feet. His takedown defense is not great, but his ability to get back up is phenomenal.
And he's big.
Yeah, and he's physically a big body. And Khabib was kind of just reiterating the fact that, like, look, I see him train with guys that are better than JDM, or feels that he's better than JDM, especially in the wrestling department. And Islam does just fine when he's not depleted. And I agree with that. You know, I've seen, Islam go with guys that are 205 and just manhandle them.
Chael Sonnen recently floated an idea that hasn't been talked about enough: a possible super fight between Islam Makhachev and Shavkat Rakhmonov. If Islam gets past JDM, this matchup could be enormous. Think about it. Two of the most dominant and complete fighters on the UFC roster. Islam's suffocating grappling and pace versus Shavkat's cold composure, sharp striking, and relentless pressure. Beyond the skills, the fan bases are massive. Islam has Dagestan and the Caucasus behind him, while Shavkat carries Kazakhstan's full support. Together, they draw the entire region into what could be the biggest Eurasian clash in UFC history. And the storyline is undeniable. If Islam moves up and defeats JDM, then takes on an undefeated monster like Shavkat, that's legacy defining. Skills, narratives, and fan passion would all collide in one blockbuster fight. As Chael put it, Islam versus Rakhmonov is one of the most compelling matchups the UFC could make, not just for for titles, but for pure intrigue. Every position, every exchange would raise questions with no easy answers.
Islam versus Rakhmonov is one of the more interesting fights you could make. Are you ready for that? I really mean that. In the entire UFC, it's not number one, but it's one of them. Islam versus Rakhmonov. That is one of the most compelling fights. Not just for outcome, not just because of records, not just because of what would be on the line. Actual stylistic. The crowd would wonder, who can hit who more? Who can kick the other one more? Who can shoot more on the other one? Who can hold up and have his energy? Like, there is no part of that we would have the answers to. We would question and wonder every single position of that fight. It would just be very fun. But if you do Shavkat versus Blal, now all of a sudden you find yourself in a 50% chance that you can't bring Rakhmonov out of that. And if you do bring Blal out of that, and we've already understood Blal and Islam is not going to happen, I think that you find yourself in a real spot.
Meanwhile, Islam Nurmagomedov, the PFL lightweight champ, went off on UFC lightweight champion Ilia Topuria. Usman didn't mince words, claiming his resume is far superior, pointing out that he already has 14 finishes in his career. He questioned how Ilia could call himself the world's best lightweight after just one fight at 15-5. Usman says that after his upcoming bout with Paul Hughes, he'll be able to firmly declare himself the #1 lightweight. Team Khabib has made it clear they have big plans for Usman to eventually join the UFC and continue the legacy built by Khabib and Islam. And if a clash with Topuria ever happens, the hype would be off the charts. Here's how Usman put it: how can Ilia call himself the top lightweight? He's only had one fight at 15-5. I'm undefeated with nearly 20 fights in the division and 14 finishes. I've beaten former champions. My resume speaks for itself. After I win my next fight, I'll proudly say I'm the best lightweight in the world.
Come on, brother. Ilia Topuria, how he can be lightweight #1 in the world? He cannot be. He did only one fight. I have 19 fights in lightweight.
And undefeated.
I have 25. Now, I beat former champions, I beat champions, and I think my resume is like better than him. He have only 15 or 14, 13. How many fights he have?
I think 14. I think that's the number.
Yeah, but I have 14 finished in my career.
Absolutely. So after Islam wins the welterweight title, then you can officially declare yourself the #1 lightweight.
After when I will finish this guy, I will call myself I'm the best lightweight.
Some tough news came out in a recent Submission Radio interview with Javier Mendez, the longtime coach of both Khabib Nurmagomedov and Islam Makhachev. Javier revealed that he was originally supposed to join Islam's training camp, but then got a call from Khabib himself. According to Mendez, Khabib told him they didn't need him this time and asked him to stay in Dubai, saying they'd reach out if his presence was necessary. It was a shocking moment, considering Javier has been a cornerstone of Team Khabib for over a decade, guiding Dagestani fighters to some of their biggest career moments. For context, Mendez now lives in Dubai, and while Khabib reassured him that the team would connect closer to the fight, it was clear that Team Khabib is leaning more on their Dagestani striking coach. Javier admitted that over the years his involvement has been based more on loyalty and respect than necessity. Still, after more than 10 years with the team, this marks a big shift in dynamics. Mendez said he'll always support them as family and fit in wherever they need him, but it's clear the camp is evolving without him as a core piece.
From what I know, originally I was supposed to go to Dagestan. And Khabib said, no, coach, I'm the old guy now. They just want to give me a lot of time to rest. And they know I love Dubai. So they said, hey, coach, why don't you just stay in Dubai and we'll come to you September 14th. We'll start training camp. And for Usman fight, October 3rd. And then from there, we'll do Umar's fight October 25th in Abu Dhabi in the UFC. And then from there, we'll take off to New Jersey for Islam's fight. I said, okay, that's fine. Whatever they want me to do, I'm going to do. I mean, I've been there, done it all. So for me, I'm the backup guy, I'm wherever my guys need me. Those guys are my family, my whole AK family, the Nurmagomedov family. It's all one and the same to me. So I fit in where they need me to fit in. I'll chime in when I need to chime in. And if things aren't broken, I'm not trying to fix it. But I'm very excited about it.
Big John McCarthy and Josh Thompson recently broke down Khamzat Chimaev's future approach to fighting. After his title-winning performance over Dricus du Plessis, some fans complained that the fight was boring and that Khamzat didn't look like his explosive, destructive self. But according to Big John and Josh, this wasn't a downgrade. It was Khamzat at his smartest. They argued that his control-heavy, methodical style is exactly what secured him the belt, and that fans should expect to see more of this version of him moving forward. Instead of rushing for highlight finishes, he's sticking to what works: smothering pressure, relentless grappling, and complete dominance over opponents. That's his bread and butter, and it's what makes him nearly impossible to beat. In fact, they say his fighting style hasn't really changed at all. He's just sticking to his winning formula. With the middleweight title around his waist, he's now expected to face whoever impresses the most between Nassourdine Imavov, Caio Borraio, Rainier de Ritter, and Anthony Hernandez. Khamzat's trademark has always been the same: close the distance immediately, drag opponents to the ground, and control them from start to finish. That's not changing anytime soon, and that's why he's the king of the division right now.
Khamzat's going to always stick with his best skills. And his best, what's his normal pattern of activity? He takes people down within the first 20 seconds. He took DDP down within the first 5 seconds. He has got a fucking clear set pattern that he uses in his fights. And the first thing is he's going to shoot from across the cage, and he covers distance very well. And he's going to try to take you down. That's not going to change. That's who he is. The only time you could really sit there and say that he didn't do that was against Joe Mershart. Was the only guy that he really didn't do that, and he went out and knocked him out within 15, 16 seconds. So you look and you go, he's got a normal pattern. It's not going to change because that's what has put him where he's at. That's who he is as a fighter.
That's it for today's MMA news. If you enjoyed, don't forget to like and subscribe to stay updated on everything happening in the fight game.